In this video, I'm going to show you my daily routine for what I do to keep away my lower back pain. Before I do any stretching, I sit in a hot bath and I add Epsom salts to the water. I do take a bath at least 2 to 3 times a week to help with my muscles. Sometimes I'll just do a hot shower, but I really have come to learn that the bath is where it's at. Like the hot water sitting there for at least 15 minutes really helps alleviate the stiff joints, helps the muscles, everything just loosens up and you're able to really just work with your muscles a lot easier throughout the day once they've loosened up. And then once I have soaked in the water before I get out, I kind of go through all my muscles over my body and I just gently massage every area to make sure that I kind of break up the muscles a little bit before I get out. It's kind of like a pressure point massage just to kind of get in there and help loosen up things that I feel are problem areas that are really tight. So once I'm done with my bath, I foam roll the entire backside of my body, and this is really great because it's called myofascial release, and what it does is it breaks up the facial layer along the muscles. So I am going to start with my hamstrings and then roll into my calves. So you want to roll out everything from your hamstrings all the way down to your calves and then back up and then move into your glutes. Now you want to roll into your side glute and be very careful when you're rolling this area. Just be very delicate because this area has your TFL and your IT band, so it can be very painful, and just proceed with caution when you're rolling this area and don't go crazy. Listen to your body. And the best way to roll out the glute muscles, because you do have 3 of them, the glute medium, maximum, and minimus. And you want to roll side to side as I'm showing here because that is the best way to roll out the muscle fibers due to the way that they lay within your body. And this will help with your lower back pain because tight glute muscles and hamstrings can cause lower back pain. And now we're going to roll the latissimus dorsi, your lat muscles. It's important to note that you should never foam roll directly onto your lower back because your spine is not protected down there the way it is in your upper back. So just keep that in mind when you're foam rolling. And the latissimus dorsi muscle is extending all the way from the top of the arm around the humerus bone and wraps down the side of the chest, down the flank, and inserts into your lower back and pelvis. The thing about this muscle that most people probably don't know is if this muscle gets really tight, it can add a great deal of compression and force into your lumbar spine, which will create overall stiffness. So because it connects into the lower back, it's very key to also foam roll this area to make sure that you have complete fluid motion in that area and that you're breaking up that fascial layer, which will help alleviate more lower back problems. If you notice, I'm turning towards the side so that my spine is protected and not anywhere near the foam roller when I'm rolling. And next I roll into my upper back, so just make sure your hair is out of the way so you don't steamroll your head, arms overhead or around your neck, whatever's more comfortable, and only go to the point where your rib cage still is. Don't go into your lower back. Alright, now that you have finished foam rolling the entire backside of your body, you are ready for the first stretch, which is legs up on the wall pose, which is really great for regulating blood flow. It alleviates menstrual cramps, improves digestion, it can restore tired feet or legs, it can also relieve swollen ankles and varicose veins. And this pose targets your hamstrings, your glutes, your spine, and your hips. Lie on your side with your legs and your butt facing the wall and slowly turn onto your back and then bring your legs up onto the wall. If you need to place a pillow behind your legs on the wall to angle your legs a little bit more or further your hips from the wall, if the stretch is too much, the closer your hips are going to be to the wall, the deeper the stretch and the hamstrings will be. So just make sure that you find a comfortable place, and if you need to, drop your legs down or bend your knees as much as you need to until it feels comfortable for you. You can also place a towel rolled up underneath your lower back and your neck to help support you while you're in this pose. I love doing this pose as well, and it really helps open up the hips and release that tension in the lower back. And you want to stay with either of these poses for at least 5 minutes, and then you just roll out of it. So the next stretch is a single knee to chest stretch. This stretch plays a really big role in your physical activity. It can help improve blood circulation and provides nutrients to your joints. It also alleviates muscle soreness and stress, and it's also known as Mackenzie exercise. And this stretch targets your lower back and your hips. So you're going to start by laying on your back with your legs extended and your back straight. Keep your hips level and your lower back down on the floor, and bend one knee and hug your knee towards your chest, placing your hands on your knee, and breathe deeply and hold this position for 30 to 60 seconds and repeat it on the next leg. If you feel it's too deep of a stretch, bend the opposite knee instead of having it extended. So the next stretch we're going to do is the Piriformis Stretch, and the piriformis muscle is located deep within your gluteal butt muscles, and they play a huge role in the hip flexibility and stability. And having a strong and flexible hip rotators keeps your hip and your knee joints aligned properly, and it prevents the twisting of the knee during quick side-to-side movements or fast turns or lunges or squats. So weak or tight piriformis muscles can lead to a variety of injury or problems, as well as pain within the actual butt muscles themselves. A tight piriformis is also known as piriformis syndrome, which means that your piriformis muscles are so tight and it can lead to lower back pain and really disrupt the function of the sacroiliac joint, and injury and irritation of that muscle can cause muscle spasm, tightness, swelling. So this is a really good stretch for helping all of that. This stretch targets your piriformis, your glutes, and your hips. This is a more intense stretch and can be performed while lying on your back on the floor and crossing your right leg over the left with the right ankle resting on the left knee. Slowly lifting the left foot off the floor and towards you while you apply gentle pressure on the inside of the right knee, and hold this stretch for 30 to 60 seconds and repeat it on the other side. I recommend repeating this pose a few times, and if you are a beginner, you won't be able to hold this stretch for as long as I recommend, which is fine. Just work your way up to it. Your body with time will become more flexible and be able to hold this pose or this stretch for a little bit longer each time. Now we're going to move on to the Pigeon Stretch, and this stretch is really good for elongating your back, opening up your hips and your growing and your hamstrings, and relieving pressure on your lower back and sciatica. Open hips improve your posture and your alignment and your overall flexibility, so these are a really key point to have proper functioning hips for overall flexibility within your body and stability, because they are the trunk part of your body which supports your everything. And this stretch targets your piriformis, your thighs, your growing, and your back. So you're going to start by placing the right knee forward towards your right hand with the knee at an angle. Slide your left leg back as far as your hips will allow it. Your right ankle will be angled into your left growing. Keep your hips square to the floor to keep your back safe and open up your hips to their fullest ability. And you can either stay upright in this position, supporting yourself with your hands, or you can begin to fold down your upper body over your knee, resting your head on your hands or your pillow or your mat or whatever you have. And when you're ready, go ahead and switch to the other side. If you can't stand the 30 to 60 seconds, just do what your body is comfortable with and go at the intensity you feel. Don't stretch into this laid position if you're not feeling it yet. Over time, you will get there. And last but not least, we are going to do the butterfly stretch. And this stretch is really key for opening up your lower body. It's where we hold so much tension and tightness, and it's a great stretch for people who want to find more flexibility in their hips and their inner thighs, and it's really, really great for undoing the slumping effect that typically happens when you're sitting at a computer all day. And this stretch targets your inner thighs, your growing, your hips, and the outer muscles of your knee. So to perform this stretch, you want to sit up tall with the soles of your feet pressed together and your knees dropped to the sides as far as they will comfortably go. Pull your abdominals gently inward. Inhale, lift out your hips and gently lean forward, grasping your ankles and outer edge of your feet with your hands, carefully pulling yourself forward until you feel a slight stretch. You should feel this stretch throughout your inner thighs, the utmost part of your hips, and your lower back. Never push yourself past the limit that your body wants to go. When you feel this stretch, pause, take a deep breath, and hold for at least 30 to 60 seconds. And you can, over time, move from side to side to deepen the stretch. So that concludes my video on what I do every single day to keep my lower back pain free. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day.